Hello everyone. In this video we're going to be talking about food combinations. So behind the throne I've got two chests full of food items from the game. I will be splitting it into three categories. The first one being naturally found food that you can instantly eat. Second one is cooked food, where you cook on the cooking station. And lastly is food that you need to process. But before we go into the video, let's take a second to hit that like button and subscribe. It only takes a second, and you can always unsubscribe. And let's head on to the video. First kind of food are here on the left, which are the naturally found food that you can instantly eat, such as mushroom, yellow mushroom, which you can find in dungeons. There are carrots. In the wilderness, you will find carrot seeds, which you need to plant first. So it's not really naturally found because you have to plant it again, and then you can eat the carrot instantly. There are blueberries, which you can also find in the black forest, raspberries, honey, which you need a beehive to get the honey, and lastly are cloudberries. Cloudberries can only be found in the plains biome, which is one of the hardest biomes in the game. You should avoid it until you get the wolf armor, just like I'm wearing right now. So let's take a look at these food items that I have over here on the left. Let's check out the stats. So they typically give only around 20 health and 20 stamina. Some are lower and some are exactly 20. So if you look at the bottom left, I haven't eaten anything yet, and that's me at a base HP of 25 and the stamina bar of around 3. Naturally found foods have typically a lower duration, usually around 10 minutes or so. So if you are going to eat the naturally found food, I'm gonna suggest that you eat yellow mushroom, honey, and either mushrooms or blueberries. With those food items, you can get to around 75 HP, I think. Yeah, around 75 HP. But this effect only takes around 10 minutes. The second category of food items are the cooked one. So we have five food items that can be cooked on the cook station. Firstly, we have the cooked meat, which can be by hunting animals such as wolves, deers, and boars. They give some cooked meat, which you can instantly cook, and then it'll give you 40 health. Grilled necktail, also being a common one, just like the cooked meat. Necktails give a lot of HP and stamina, but not as much as the cooked meat. The third one is cooked fish. You can find fish by fishing on a pond, picking up fish, or you can go to Haldor and get a fishing rod and some fishing bait, and then you can go fishing for some fish. The cooked fish gives you 45 max HP, 35 stamina, and has a duration of 1200 seconds. The next two food items, which are cooked, are quite hard to find because the first one here, cooked serpent meat, you have to go to the ocean, you have to find a serpent and kill it using a bow. It is incredibly heavy, weighing around 10 weight, but it gives a lot of buffs, such as 70 max HP, 40 stamina, and has a duration of 2000 seconds. The last one, cooked lox meat, which is the same as cooked serpent meat, but it is significantly lighter for some reason, and it has the same buffs as the serpent meat. Lox meat can be found by hunting wild lox in the plains biome, and they are extremely tanky. Even with my needle arrow and my Draugr Fang bow, it takes around 10 to 15 arrows to take one down. Let's move on to the next category. Over here we have the processed foods, which are also split into two categories. the early processed foods and the late game processed foods. Over here on the early side, we have turnip stew, carrot soup, queen's jam, and sausages. Carrot soup and queen's jam can be easily made on the cauldron. Queen's jam requiring only 8 raspberries and blueberries, while the carrot soup requires 3 carrots and 1 red mushroom. The next ones are turnip stew and sausages. These 2 items can be cooked after you go to the swamp and find turnip for the turnip stew and finding joggers for finding entrails. To cook the turnip stew, you need 1 raw meat and 3 turnips, which you can find in the wilderness, just like carrots. Sausages, you need 4 thistles, 1 raw meat, and 2 entrails. And lastly, we have 5 late game food items, which are lox meat pie, blood pudding, fish wraps, bread, and serpent stew. These will be the food that you will eat in the late game period because they give a lot of HP and stamina compared to the previous foods, but they are extremely expensive. At the top we have serpent stew, which gives 80 health and 80 stamina, which is a lot, and has a duration of 40 minutes. That's a really long time, but to find the serpent itself, it's quite hard. And then the next best thing, lox meat pie, has the same buffs of 80 HP, 80 stamina, 2400 seconds, and 4 HP per tick. And then at the third spot, for your third food slot, you can either eat blood pudding or fish wraps. It's your choice. If you want more HP, you will want to eat the blood pudding because it gives 90 HP but only gives 50 stamina. But if you want stamina, you should eat the fish wraps, which gives 60 HP and 90 stamina. And at the bottom, you have bread. It is very light and the cheapest to make in my opinion, but it only gives 40 HP and 70 stamina, which is very weak compared to the other foods. So to get access to these 4 food items, at the right side of the chest, you will need to find the 4th boss, which is Mother. And then after defeating the boss, you will get dragon tears, of which you can craft the artisan table over here. And then with the table, you can craft the blast furnace and the windmill. The windmill allows you to process barley, which can be turned into barley flour. Then you'll be able to cook all of these items. The best food combination before fighting the first boss is to eat cooked meat, grilled necktail, and cooked fish if you can find a fish and cook it. But if you haven't found any fish yet, you can just eat any mushroom. So before fighting the second boss, you will have access to carrot soup, queen's jam, and the cooked meat. I'm gonna suggest you eat cooked meat, carrot soup, and queen's jam. And for the third boss, bone mass, which you can find the meme video in the top right now, I suggest you eating sausages, turnip stew, and carrot soup. These 3 food items give a good balance between health and stamina. So those are the food items that you will be able to get in Valheim. Those were all the food items. And I hope this video can be informational to you and it'll help your playthrough in Valheim. So thank you so much for watching, and be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And you can check out my other videos such as bonemass.exe